Hello fish tankers, I'm here right in front of my favorite local fish store, McMerwe's. It's been a long time since I've done a store tour here and I've got some really nice fish now. So let's go and take a look at what they have. Okay guys, here we are inside McMerwe. It's not a huge store in terms of square meters, but they pack a lot of things in here. Nice plants and some endler guppies you see there. More endlers. The endlers are basically smaller than your standard guppy. Good for smaller nano tanks. I think those are blackline endlers. I could be mistaken. Feel free to correct me in the comment section. And here we've got a selection of Mbuna, Malawi cichlids. Kept them in my days of managing a pet store, but personally at home never really. And some cardinal tetras. And in among them, those very nice green Kubutai rasbouras. At the back there's some Corridoras Adolphi. I'm going to try and get the camera to focus on them, but it's a difficult task because you've got the tetras constantly photobombing you. They're nice looking cories. There we've got a better shot of him. And then it gets photobombed again. A good old mainstay of a hobby, neon tetras. Lots of autos on that, what do you call it, a fluidized bed filter. There you see the otters grazing on the substrate. I've done a video about them. Always important to feed them. Make sure that they get enough food. If there's not enough algae, they like the foam algae. And here's a different kind of live bearer. Yes, they're a live bearer, like a guppy or a molly, but these are half beaks, real oddball little fish. And I'm told these guys are feeding on Ikari micro pellets. Usually they can be finicky, but that's very good news if you're interested in picking up some of these. Real odd looking fish, almost like a little crocodilian. And then of course pygmy cories. More ottos. Some assassin snails there, and there's a coolie loach. Another little oddball fish, very, very peaceful. Doesn't need a huge tank, but if you want to ever see them, not have them disappear into your hardscape, substrate or plants, make sure to get a group at least 4. The more you have, the more you're going to see them out and about. And there's some emerald rasbouras, very similar to your CPD, your celestial ball danio, or your galaxy rasboura, but they have, instead of that trout-like spots, they've got vertically running bluish bands. They cut up nicely in a planted tank like all fish really. Pencil fish, the golden pencil fish. If you're starting with pencil fish, these are probably the ones, probably the most hardy, but keep in mind pencil fish have tiny little mouths, so you've got to have food that's appropriate so they can get the food in. And a very nice white and blue betta there at the back. Hello, Malawi cichlid sitting there, and these of course I've done a video about Harlequin rasbouras. Really, really nice for a planted tank, something for the upper half of the tank. These are Rasboura heteromorpha. If that is still the scientific name, you get the lamb chop rasboura, the S-by one as well. And these are guppies. These are now I can't say common guppies, they're fancy guppies, but these are your standard guppy. And lots of Siamese algae eaters. And they're small now, they do grow big. Ideally you want at least a 4-foot tank, and these are rasbouras, glowing eye rasbouras or blue eye rasbouras, I forgot the name, and of course albino cories. And here's the pearl gourami, very underrated gourami because they don't look like much as juveniles, but they're more peaceful, they're not as aggro as a lot of your bigger gouramis are. They do grow to a substantial size, so I'd say at least a 3-foot tank or 4-foot would be better. And you can see the difference between the male and the female. The male, there's a male now behind the female. I'm going to try and zoom in on him. There, that's a male. You'll see there's an orangey color in the region of the anal fin. When they're in breeding condition, they color up quite a bit. They become very orange in the downstairs region there. And here's the female. You'll see it doesn't have that orange color around the throat and the anal fin, and a shorter dorsal fin. The male's dorsal fin is sort of elongated towards the back. Fancy guppies. Lots of guppies here for you guppy lovers. These of course are all the males. And leopard danios. A bulletproof beginner fish. They also breed like rabbits. Leopard danios, zebra danios. They're good as differ fish if you have small dwarf cichlids as well. And here we have the chili rasboura, great little nano fish, colors up quite nicely. Once they are in a planted tank. And of course they're great with shrimp. You'll see the cherry shrimps also in this tank. Tiny little fish, tiny bioload, great for nano tanks. And here we see the cherry shrimps. Not much in here. Do you guys like the sponge filters with the biomedia compartments, or do you like the normal round ones that I have that you just put on the bottom? Here's some green neon tetras. Now you'll see they have the smallest of the neon and the cardinal tetras, that group, and they've got the red, like the cardinal tetra, running all along the body, but the red color isn't as pronounced. It's sort of faded red color, but they don't grow big, they're the smallest. And lots of cories. It looks to me like a group of juvenile stirbuys. Yeah, there you see that yellowish pectoral fins. At least I think they're stirbuys. Guys, if you've watched this far, please hit that like button. It helps to develop this channel on YouTube. Give it a thumbs up, I greatly appreciate that. And here some cherry barbs that you see in the intro to all my videos. Some koi swordtails, and I think those look to me like Corridoras trilineatus. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section. So many different cories on the market these days, eh? When I was a youngster, we had bronze cories, pepper cories, and then the albino cories came out, and that was really fancy. Today they're sort of like guppies of a cory world. Some mollies, and here's the bronze cories that I just spoke of. That's your standard issue Corridoras. flowerhorn cichlids. I've got a couple of flowerhorns here. There's more still coming up in this video. Very aggressive fellow this. Do you guys think it's worth it? Who keeps flowerhorns? Let me know in the comment section. Is it worth it putting up a substantial tank for just this one fish? Because most of them are too aggressive to be kept with anything else. You get your exceptions. There's a guy, Charles, in one of our fish groups, Charles den Dok, a South African fish maven. And he has a flowerhorn, and that flowerhorn is very passive. I believe he's got, I think, giant danios in the tank with a flowerhorn, and it works. But you know, you can't go with exceptions. That's exceptional. So let me know in the comment section, flowerhorn people. There's always a wide selection of plants here at McMerwe. Some very nice Java fern, and in among them also some very nice Dumbo guppies. These are my favorite guppies, I must say, from what is available in the store here. Some female bettas and some, I believe those are Gara rufa, swimming against the glass there on the right hand side of your screen. I've never kept these. Who has kept them, and are they good algae eaters? Will they eat blackbeard algae? Let me know in the comment section. Here's some very nice female bettas as well. Guys, please remember to share these videos among your fish keeping groups, if the rules allow, of course, and share it among your fish keeping contacts. We'll greatly appreciate it. And here we've got the German blue ram, and as well as golden rams, as well as there on the bottom of your screen, that is a Bolivian ram. 3 kinds of rams, and the Bolivian ram, they're a bit tougher. They'll take cooler water, but the German blue rams, like you see there, they like it hot, 28, 29 degrees discus temperature. What's your favorite live bearer? Mine, I would have to say, are platies. Like, it's always hard to find healthy stock, but these coral red platies look very good to me, quite healthy. And some dwarf gouramis, of course. This is your normal wild coloration. I got some dwarf gouramis from McMerwe. I have 2, and you know, the thing with dwarf gouramis is always I get this terrible dwarf gourami virus, but the ones that I got here, it's been over 6 months now, they're still fine, no problem. So if you're going to do dwarf gouramis, I'd get my dwarf gouramis here. Remember, in the description I'll leave a link to their website. They ship across the whole of South Africa, so they've got a fully operational online store. And here we have some juvenile rainbow fish, some Busmanis, I believe. And then there is a group of juvenile discus. Now, in this size, I like them at this size because they're easier on your pocket. Discus are expensive. I had some really big discus, nice ones here, that have all sold out now. But these are smallish juveniles. And I would recommend, if you're going to start with discus, get them at this size, get at least 6, 8 is better. And then you just grow them up. That's how I kept discus back in the day. That's how I did it. I grew up a group of juveniles like these. Very satisfying to raise them up into these magnificent fish. And of course, the #1 beginner's fish of all time, the white cloud mountain minnow. They don't even need a heater. They can go in cold water. Some black Moscow guppies from a local breeder here, Alindi. I always like locally bred fish, and then of course ember tetras. And that sponge filter there sitting on the floor, it sits on the floor like those round ones, but it has that media container in the bottom that holds biomedia. And I've done a product review on the Antopy sponge filter on my channel. Here's some honey gouramis. If you want something smaller and less belligerent than a dwarf gourami, try those. And some very big pepper cories. And albino ancestris, bristle nose. Some nice fantail goldfish. Remember people, goldfish grow to be big fish. And here's some, those golf ball like fish are pearl scales. They grow to be a substantial size for the fancy double-tailed varieties at 80 litres for the first one, and then 40 litres for every one in addition. Some more garas. Now here is one of the displays. It's a high-tech CO2 tank. Let me know who keeps high-tech tanks. And it gets trimmed every now and again, and this is now after a trim. It's all been trimmed down, and now you'll see in a week it'll look drastically different. Sort of a Dutch style aquarium, if I'm right. And here's more flower horns. See, this one is not quite as belligerent as that first one I showed you. Inquisitive comes and checks out the camera. And this one is a little more wary. He keeps his distance, and then he checks me out, and then he comes again. Different personalities, these fish, just like bettas, and you can sort of suss them out a bit in the store, but not community fish. It's highly exceptional that works. And they like it warm, the temperatures, that's another thing. Like the discus, they like it warm, 28 degrees, 29 degrees Celsius. That's what they like. This is a nice fellow. If I have now to have a big tank for one fish, I guess I'll be taking this guy. Some more goldfish. These I think are ranchus without the dorsal fins. Has anybody done a planted goldfish tank? Has anybody had success with that? Because they're notoriously hard on plants. Let me know in the comment section. And these are white cloud mountain minnows, but the gold variety. And some more goldfish. Do you guys like the blue backgrounds? I'm partial to black. It's less maintenance. The algae doesn't show as easily. Let me know. More goldies. And of course these are the ones that actually look like fish more. The comets. They're also a fish that really needs a big tank, or better for a pond if you don't have the money for koi. And a huge array of dry goods. You can see they really have it all. There's the aqua clear, hang on back, there's the tidals, you've got all the sea chem products, you've got the aqua swell, you've got APT fix, you've got the local product there of fertilizer, you've got the API, lots of air pumps, a lot of AC/DC air pumps for the load shedding. Aqua oil products from Poland. Who's used the aqua oil products, and what do you think? I've never used them yet. Some canister filters, both for dolphin. They also have a RSA Biomaster here. And then a full array of fish food for all your fish, from your communities to your marines to your cold water to your shrimps. Run the whole gamut. And of course aquarium lights. You see there's some mupani wood for your hardscape. We have both the cheaper lights and then the chihiras when it gets expensive. And it's amazing to see in a country like South Africa, with all the economic problems we have, that there are hobbyists that do buy these very high-end expensive products, and there's a big section of hobby that's into the high-end planted tanks, as well as reef keeping. Spiderwood, I like spiderwood. Some shrimp food. The nice thing about the spiderwood is it develops this ugly looking fungus when it's new in the tank. It's a sort of a biofilm, and that's really great if you have a new tank, or the tank is run in, and when you have all this fungus around the spiderwood, it doesn't look great, but it's fantastic if you're keeping ottos to get them off to a good start, because they eat that up. And that gives them a nice nutritional boost. The CO2 cylinders, and these are the low iron crab aqua aquariums. I've got one of them on my bookshelf that houses of pea puffers. You know, you can really see the difference between them and the normal float glass tanks that you see here. Botanicals, spiderwood, lots of bits and bobs, air valves, and then these little driftwood bonsai trees I really like. I've got one in the pea puffer tank. You can even put moss on it and you can make a little bonsai tree underwater. Here you get a feel for the store, the crab aqua tanks. I've got that one in blue. It's a 20 litre 5 gallon tank. It's good for betta and it works well for my 4 pea puffers against all odds. But I think the reason why it's such a peaceful pea puffer tank is because it's a sorority, it's all females. But also remember, I have several tanks, so there's even empty ones standing in the garage. So if all hell breaks loose, I can make a plan. This is interesting. These are terrestrial plants. I suppose, what do you call this? A terrarium. Using those crab aquas as terrariums. You don't want fish, you just want something nice on your desk. And this one, I suppose, is a paludarium. It's a low boy tank with that island of moss and hydrocotyle, I think, growing out of the water. It's got CO2, it's high tech, and it's got this Monte Carlo carpet. And this is something really striking and very different. This is the owner Jacques' personal tank. Something completely different where you see it in perspective. High-end lighting as well. I think it's Giros on that tank. And these are the BioLark, how do you pronounce it? Help me in the comment section. But also little terrariums. I really like this. I want to try it. And here, guys, it's my favorite aquarium in the whole store. I like the hardscape. I like the strong hardscape as opposed to the Dutch style and the other display tank. And look at those Axelrodi Rasbouras. You don't see them often. Beautiful betta. Guys, please remember to subscribe. And thank you to everybody who has subscribed. I appreciate each and every one of you. There's a bucketless fish. Those Rasbouras, I haven't kept them before. Look at the betta. And you know, this is what a high-tech tank looks like, you know. With my low-tech approach of my own personal aquariums, I'm not going to get this kind of variety of plant growth to grow like that. Guys, until I see you guys again, keep on taking good care of those domestic denizens of the deep.